Hello, and welcome to Python with MySQL Database. I'm your instructor, David Baker, and this video is brought to you by CreativeOnlineSchool.com. In the previous video, we learned about what a database is and specifically how a MySQL database is laid out. Today, what we're going to be learning about is actually creating this database in Python, which is going to be my favorite part because we actually get to start coding. So let's go ahead and create a file, we're going to create a file which I have already gone ahead and done, and I just named it database.py. The top line from here is just if you're in Linux to be able to run a Python script in terminal. And the first thing that we want to do is we need to import the module. So we need to import what is PHPMySQL. So this is the 3.5 version of MySQL in Python. If you have a different version of Python, you're going to need to import a different module. And let's go ahead and get started. So first thing that we need to do is actually connect to the server that's going to be hosting it. So we're going to connect by using PyMySQL.connect, and we need to give some parameters. The first parameter being the local host of where the host name of the server, which for me is localhost since it's on my own computer. Next will be the user that you want to log in as, which for me is root. And finally, the password of this user, and mine is simply mine. Next thing that we need to do is set up a cursor so that we can actually interact with the server. So it's just going to be server.cursor. And finally, we're going to actually create some SQL code. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a database. So just create database, if not exists, Creative Online School. Then we end our SQL code. And finally, to send our SQL code to the actual server, what we're going to do is cursor.execute and then SQL. So this will actually create the database within the server. And the next thing that we need to do is start creating tables. So I'm going to go ahead and use Creative Online School. So this is just telling the server that I want to start manipulating the database Creative Online School. And then just go ahead and execute this code on the server. And this is where we're going to start to actually create the tables. So we're going to do create table if not exists owners, and then ID is going to be an integer and not null, and go ahead and auto increment it because we want each individual ID to be, or each ID to be individual. And then we go to the next one and we're going to do name. It's going to be a varchar, and let's set 30. And we want to have this information, so make it not null. Next will be gender, varchar of 7. This is where all of the data types come into play. It is not necessarily in actual Python, but in other languages, because you have to specify in a database what kind of data type you're going to be entering into each field so it knows what to expect. And then just set our primary key to ID. And go ahead and close this out, end our SQL code. And I'm using these triple single quotes so that I can enter my information on multiple lines. If you want to enter in all of your information on one line, you can do that with just a single quote. I was just showing you a way to do it. And then I've already got the next information copied down, so I'm just gonna go ahead and copy that over for the next table so that we save some time. And go ahead and copy. Okay, so then we just do cursor.execute SQL, and we can tell if these tables were created inside of the database by actually using the command in SQL of show tables. So we'll just do show tables to make sure that we have actually created them, and cursor.execute. Another command that you will need to know is cursor.fetch all, which will actually receive anything that the server just returned and return it to the actual Python script, so it doesn't automatically download it. So we just print out what cursor.fetch all takes, and it should print all our tables. So now we want to just run this script, and there we go. We can see that we have created the table of owners and pets. I hope that this video has been helpful for you in learning how to create a database and also tables within Python. In the next video, we will actually be loading data into these tables and learning how to manipulate it. Again, my name is David Baker, and this video is brought to you by CreativeOnlineSchool.com.